These are more than dry now. Now the fact that the end here is not painted, it doesn't matter. That's not going to be seen. We're only going to be seeing in probably to about here. We won't be seeing the back. I was noticing on this one here where the photo etch has slipped down off of the round base part that we put it on, and I was going to try and work it back up all the way around and and hope for the best. And then I realized that on each one of these turrets, one side is going to be in against the superstructure, and there's no way you're going to be able to see it anyway. So I'll just have to make sure that I put this one on, with this side next to the superstructure, and like I say, nobody's going to see it. Otherwise, if I try to fix it, I'm probably going to just make it worse. Now there's 3 of these go on each side. The ones that look like this go, you might say, midships, like where the funnel section is, and the other ones go at the fore section and the aft section. Now the fore section actually goes in almost under like a little overhang. So not only will you not see that one from this side, you would not see it if you were looking straight down on it. So what I'm going to do is this one here, which is the damaged one, is I will try and remember to put it on the fore section that is, got the overhang, and then we're not going to see this. And I think the easiest thing to do here is just use the extra thin, and it won't take very much. It's sort of a pressure fit as it is. I just want to make sure that I don't get it so that it's going to be, running down the sides and ruin the paint. So I got to be careful where I put this here. Probably putting too much on again. It's a story of my life. Okay. You can see it ran down on the inside there. Don't want to poke the gun barrel into it. This looks awkward because I'm trying to do it on camera here. Okay. Now in a few minutes that won't come out even if I wanted it to. Alright, now we'll just do the other 5 the same way. Now here again is our one that the ring is coming off on us. And you can see where I have accidentally rubbed the paint off, I guess, when I was trying to put it back on. So I'm going to have to go around with the paintbrush. Now you'll notice that in underneath right here, I'll zoom in on that so you can see it. Even though I never touched it with my fingers, there's no paint on there. And there are others that are that way too. I guess I just didn't go down low enough of an angle with my airbrush to get underneath. So I'm going to have to go on, I think, about 3 of the others. But that's no problem. I am wondering if I have maybe painted myself into a box here. Because how do I get these guns to stay in a bit of an elevated position? They naturally want to fall down. Now my thinking was that it's possible that on the real ship they would be the same way. They would be heavier out at the muzzle end than they are at the breech end. Now it is possible that the pivot point was in such a location that they went up as easy as they went down, but I don't think so. So my thinking had been, until right now at least, that when the Bismarck was cruising the Atlantic, you would think that they would want to have everything at the lowest center of gravity as possible to prevent roll in heavy seas. Now, in other words, the barrel would be lowered. That's the way the Bismarck would be most of the time. Now, of course, when it's in combat, these would be elevated, possibly quite a ways, depending on how far away the enemy was. Anyway, I think you get my drift here. So my original thinking was have them lowered, but maybe that's just too low. A little while ago, I went on the internet and I looked at a bunch of pictures, and a lot of the pictures did show where they were more or less straight out, but of course the impressive ones were when they were raised like this. I don't know what I'm going to do here yet, but like I say, I think I painted myself in a box here, because how am I going to, glue those up now? The hinge is all covered up. Okay, here's my thought. Why don't I take and drill a little hole? Where's my pointer here? Okay, why don't I drill a little hole right there? This whole area is covered anyway by what this sits on the ship. You don't see it. So if I was to drill a hole there, right in the center, I could get into where the hinge is. Well, that's my thinking right now anyway. Now if I drill the hole right here, I will have to be careful not to come up too far, or I'll be hitting this part of the cross member here. I probably only got, well, not even probably about 1/8 of an inch. So as soon as the bit breaks through the plastic, I have to stop. Let's go down in the workshop and see what we can do. Probably about 2 or 3 months ago, I was down here, and I think I might have mentioned this, but anyway, I had this kind of weird deja vu type feeling that I was in somebody else's workshop, because it had been so long since I was down here. And and it's not like I didn't know where what I was looking for was, or something silly like that. It's not like my memory had gone. It was just a sort of funny feeling that, for years I'd spent practically every day, not all day, but every day I'd be down here doing something. As long as I was in Winnipeg anyway. And it's kind of quiet and echoey and hollow and strange. I should start the clock at least. So what I'm going to do is, I've got a bit here. It's a 7 millimeter, like about a 1/4 inch, and it's the bit that I use when I'm drilling out my acrylic blanks. So I think it's probably going to work okay in plastic. Let's just set up here and see what we can do. Okay, very, very gently here now. The reason I'm using this vise is those of you who are into this sort of thing, you know how that if you were to hold something like this in your fingers, and even though it was securely fastened so it wouldn't go up and down, it could all of a sudden catch, and then it's going to move on you and catch worse, and instantly you're going to have a catch. So I just want to have this so that if it catches, it's not going to suddenly twist. Now, is this bit maybe too big? Yes, it is. I'm going to have a smaller bit. Okay, I've got a 3/16" bit in here now. And I'll just readjust. Okay, I think that's pretty good. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be holding it down so that it won't suddenly pop up and dig in. At least that's the plan. Now remember, as soon as we go through, we stop. Well, that seems to be pretty far down, and I didn't remember the plastic being that thick. I'll give it just a little bit more here. I've got myself out of line here. Yeah, I did. Maybe I better get the hobby knife and see if I can go through the rest of the way. Okay, obviously we're back at the model table because this is where the hobby knife is. Now, as I was mentioning down in the workshop, I would have thought I should have been through by now. Well, I almost was. Now I don't want to break any of the little hinge type thing that's in there. And the idea is I want to be able to get into. Now, is this going to work? You know what? I'm looking down inside there now. I'm sure you can't see it, but I am too far ahead. I'm going to have to go at too much of an angle like this to get the glue on the joint. I'm thinking that I might have done better to have made the hole right there. Be a lot safer too. Okay, I'm going to go back down the workshop and I'm going to do another one like that and see how it is. If it works out, then I'll do the other 4. I guess it would be the same way. But anyway, you're just going to have to wait up here. Okay, they went pretty good, and I'm showing you this one here because I accidentally somehow broke this photo etch out of here, so I got to glue that back in like that. But I changed my bit downstairs, and I used my 1/4" brad. And what it did was, see if I can get this back on here so you can see. Okay, what it did was it drilled out a little plug. In other words, it drilled down the side, sort of like a coring bit. And yeah, just sort of popped through and yeah. Anyway, just thought you'd be interested to see that. Sorry I didn't show you it being done, but you know, I guess I'm getting lazy, and bottom line is there's only so much fooling around I want to be doing here. So, yeah. This is one of those scenes that I can't retake even if I did retakes. And just after one of the viewers had complimented me for not getting my hands in the way and blocking the view. Okay, here we go with thinking out loud again. I'm just wondering, when is the best time to touch up this photo etching? Should I maybe wait until after I get the the guns glued in the proper elevation? Now if I bring the applicator in at an angle like this, I'm pretty much touching the joint where it hinges. And I think I'm going to have to use the CA glue, because if I use the extra thin, what could happen is it will run up onto the top of the barrel and wick its way out, and sort of, there'll be discoloration there. So I'm thinking that at this point, how would it be if I was to put this like this, something like that. Okay, now this sort of makes the barrels at the right angle. And then of course I could let the CA glue, cure, give it lots of time. I wouldn't have to hold it with my fingers. I think that'll work. I think I'll try it on one and see how it goes. Okay, they're just slightly elevated here. They don't all have to be the same. Okay, I think doing them this way works out pretty good. I'm going to do the other 5 like that. If some of them are a little bit higher, well, that's okay. They don't all have to be the same. In fact, I don't think, although it would look kind of funny if this barrel was lower than this barrel. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and do them. When I'm sitting here behind my monitor, just right up there in my peripheral vision is my surveillance monitor. And earlier this morning, I was noticing that there was a rabbit. Well, there's one there right now. Just let me bring it up here. Okay, yeah, you can see there's a little rabbit there just behind the car eating at the carrot pile. Anyway, I opened the door and I threw out a little piece of carrot, about 2 inches long or so. Well, it took the rabbit a little while to find it. He had to have a friend come over and help him find it. Anyway, I went out later and I put out more carrots, and I was reminded of yesterday's comments where I'd said to somebody I'd probably take the camera out today and see if we could see where the rabbits live, or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly anymore, but that's gonna have to wait. Life is what happens to you while you're making other plans, and the plan was to take the camera out and go down the bunny trail. But that's going to have to wait. Anyway, Jim, sorry about that. Anyway, how are we doing here? Well, it's about 10 to 2. I got time to do maybe a little bit more here yet. Okay, they're all glued now to various degrees of elevation. These two are, I think it's these two, yeah, these two are all the way up as far as they will go. The main thing is that I've got the barrels the same on each turret. At least to me that's important. Although, as I alluded to before, I think they could be individually manipulated. Anyway, once I get the touch-up work done on the photo etch, step 58 is done, and we can start on the cranes, step 59. But that's going to have to be tomorrow now. So thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.